Hello everybody, Big Biddy back again with another video, and today we're talking about what's better, same day jobs or multi-drops, and when you should be doing them. So first of all, we're going to go into the pros and cons of each. So same day stuff. For those you don't know, same day stuff is generally you bid on a job, you win it, you go in, you pick up, you drive to where you go and you drop off and you're done. Simple as that. And it is very simple. The pros of the same day stuff is you don't really have a cap on how much money you can make. As long as you're working, you can keep doing jobs. You're not on a day rate, so you're charging per job. So potentially you could make £300-400 a day, even more in some cases. So that is a big advantage compared to the multi-drop stuff, which is generally on a day rate, so it's a fixed price. Other pros, you go and you get to see the world. You get out there, you're in the countryside. It's very stress-free, I find, especially when you're on the road. You just put the headphones on, audiobook, music. You don't really have to worry about much. You meet interesting people. You go and see some beautiful parts of the country. Like, I don't know, we seem to have this thing in it, being Brits, that we like to go abroad on holiday. My argument to that is, have you seen the Cotswolds? Have you been to the Peak District? My God, they are stunning. Wales, just Wales itself, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. And you get to go and see these places on a daily basis, and they are stunning. You also got to go see some really interesting, meet some really interesting people, and you sort of get a snapshot of how businesses work. I've been to football stadiums. I was been at Snetterton today, Snetterton racecourses. But that was a multi-drop job, so that doesn't really count in this bit. But anyway, I've been to, like I said, football stadiums. I've been to aquariums. I've been to zoos. I've been inside the Kellogg's factory and seen how their operation works. So you get sort of little snippets of how different industries work, and it's really interesting. One day I was at a furniture place, and this bloke was making an ornate sort of table and doing really intricate carving, and as I was waiting to be loaded, I was just sat there chatting to him, and watching him work was like watching an artist. It was fantastic. If you work in an office, you don't get to see that stuff, and you know, multi-drops, you do get a bit of that, but you don't get to go all over the country and see these great things. It's one of the things I love most about this job, is going and seeing our great country. So that's a massive pro. If you like tramping, and I do like tramping, it's a bit of fun, it's good. It really is. Every day is different, and you don't know what's going to happen. So there are some big pros, and like I said, money. You make good money. Cons of the same day stuff: costs a lot to run. You will be spending a lot on petrol, wear and tear on the van. You will be running long hours. You might be up at 3 o'clock in the morning doing long days, hard days. You're not always going to get home. You have to waiting for work. Bidding on jobs and wait is one of the most frustrating things in the world. Plus, you will have a lot of dead miles. Well, you won't necessarily have a lot of dead miles, but you potentially could have a lot of dead miles, which just sucks money out of your business. And yeah, there's a lot of potential cost involved if you don't do it properly. So you have to get it right. Multi-drops, pros. Generally, you don't start that early, like 9 o'clock start, which is like a normal day. I usually start a lot earlier, so get a bit of a lie-in. You're generally working like 9 till 5 or 5:30 or something like that, so it's not a long day, which is nice. Once you've got in and you're doing a multi-drop, generally they phone you the next day and get you in the next day and the next day and the next day. You can get a nice run of money, so you know that money's coming in. It's pretty easy. And you get to see interesting places doing that as well. Like I said, I've been to Snetterton Racecourse today and had a little look around there. But I had to be quick because I had to get on to the next one. Plus, you get to work out. You know, one of the cons of the same day stuff is you just sat there, and it's very easy to gain weight. You're in and out of the van, running around. I try and keep as active as possible as I'm doing it, so I can have a bit of a workout. Cons of the multi-drops. I said there's a cap on the money you're going to make, which is a problem. Because you want to make as much money as possible. But it's not bad money. Some of the people you will work for, some of the companies are awful. I'm not going to name names, but there's one or two out there. I'll tell you what, I'll do another video down the line which will name names and tell you which ones, because oh fuck it, Hermes, they're shit. Right? So just so you know, if you get offered large but light work for Hermes, just say no, it is not worth it. So there are awful ones, there are really good ones as well that will look after you. I've never worked for UPS or DPD, but I've heard they're very good. I've done a lot of work for Parcel Force, they're very good. There's a few others out there which some have been good, some have been awful, some of the smaller ones. So it can be a mixed bag if you're going to get a good one or a bad one. The other thing is, when it comes to doing the multi-drops, is if you're in a city, so your route is inside, is in a small area in a city, it can be very affordable. If you're in the countryside, your profit margin drops dramatically because the amount of petrol you're going to use. If you're in a city, you probably only use 20 quid a day at most. Countryside, you're looking at, sorry, not £20 a day. No, it probably is about £20 a day. Do about a tank a week if you're in a city, maybe a little bit less. But if you're in the countryside, you're going to use a lot more. And it's a lot more stressful trying to find a place in the countryside. So if you are going to do multi-drops, you've really got to get that city work, or at least be in a couple of towns which you know very well. So there are big pros and cons for both. What should you go for if you're new? Should you be targeting one, or should you be going for a mixture of the two? The way I work has changed since I started doing this. I tend to try and grab multi-drops because they're a bit more secure, and this is when I grab them. It's generally at Christmas because I want to be home every night. I want to be with my family during Christmas. And recently we've had a global incident happen, if you haven't noticed. It's been going off everywhere, which has caused a lot of multi-drops to sort of be out there. And because there's an element of security, because you might get that phone call the next day. Generally, when you start with a company doing multi-drops, you won't just do one day. You will get 2 free at least, sometimes a couple of weeks. So there's that security around it, which isn't really secure, but at least you know you're not going to be fighting for work constantly for a little while. So I tend to go from Christmas. February is also a good time to try and get them, because February everything slows down. So if you can get on a couple of weeks of multi-drops, can really help you. And obviously when things like have happened recently around the world happen, good time to get multi-drops. The rest of the time I want to be on the same day stuff, just because I want to maximize the amount of money I can make. If I do it properly, I will make a lot more money doing that. But you've got to do a mixture of the two, I think. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of multi-drops, but I'm starting to appreciate them more for what they are and what they can actually give me. I've been on a little run the last couple of weeks just because they've been popping up, and I keep getting a phone call about 12 o'clock saying, hey, we've got work for you tomorrow if you want to take it. And I don't like saying no, because it's a guaranteed job, and if you say no to them, guaranteed you won't get another job. So it's best to say yes. And there seems to be a lot out there. And because I think I'm working for a slightly better company than one of the crap ones, I'm starting to appreciate it a bit more. Do I want to do it all the time? No. Am I going to carry on doing this for maybe another week? Possibly. But it's something you should do to complement all your other work, I think. Did that make sense? When people ask me what my job is, I'm a same-day courier. But I do the multi-drop stuff. You have to be flexible. You have to be able to see what's out there and choose what's right. So if you're starting in the industry and thinking, I'm just going to target same day stuff, don't ignore the multi-drop stuff. If it comes up and it's nothing else out, get it. If you're going for starting up and you're going solely for the multi-drop stuff, don't ignore the same day stuff. It might be, if those jobs are there, take them. So you've got to be very flexible in what you're doing. So same day versus multi-drops, who wins the fight of which is the best? For me personally, I prefer the same day stuff, and I would rather be doing it. But I'm slowly starting to appreciate multi-drops a lot more. So they win the fight of who's the better one. But once again, you've got to be flexible. You've got to see what's out there. and don't ignore either. So go for both. Bit of a crappy answer, really. The answer being both, but same day for me is a lot better. So I hope that's helped some people. If you're coming into the industry thinking, right, I'm going to target one or the other, by all means try and target one over the other, but be very, if it's out there, the other one, go for it. So hope this helped. If you like the video, please like, comment and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys, and as always, be safe out there and have a great day.